Hello and welcome to On the Mat with Lydia. That's me. And whatever has brought you to your yoga practice today, you are very welcome here. Today is day 3 of our stressless 10-day yoga journey, and today our focus is on play. So this practice is a really kind of fun and funky practice that encourages you to explore, to have fun with it, to not take things so seriously, and really find some freedom through this movement here today. So whenever you're ready, let's get on the mat. Let's begin today in our child's pose. So from hands and knees, begin to open your knees nice and wide. Bring your big toes together to kiss behind you and start to sit your hips back towards your heels, melting your heart down towards the mat. Now, if child's pose just isn't feeling great for your body here today, you always have the option to instead come to a seated position, bring your arms forward, and drop your head down between your arms. So finding that similar folding position, but a little bit less stress on the knees. So choose what's going to feel best for your body here today. And we'll stay for a few rounds of breath as we center into our practice here. Really letting yourself arrive on your yoga mat here. Knowing that you have nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, but you get to take this time on your yoga mat just to connect with yourself, to move your body, and to feel the power of your breath. And as we center here, you might start to bring in this attitude of playfulness for your practice today. Shedding any expectations for this yoga practice, any judgments of how the postures look, and allowing yourself to really drop into the feeling, the flow of this practice here today. Letting yourself play around and have a little bit of fun with it here. So with that intention of playfulness, let's take another inhale here. And let it out. With your next inhale, begin to rise up towards your tabletop position, hands and knees. But we're going to keep the knees nice and wide, just like they were in our child's pose. Planting the palms just about underneath the shoulders. Let's take an inhale to draw the shoulder blades together, lift the heart, find a little cow pose. Exhale to round your spine, lift your belly button, find your cat. Again, inhaling for your cow, lifting the heart. And exhaling for your cat, rounding your spine. And let's take a few more rounds here with the breath through this cat-cow, starting to wake up the spine. And I invite you here to bring in a little bit more organic movement here. So letting yourself move in any way that feels good for your body as we start to wake things up. So maybe that means you stay in one shape for a little while longer. Maybe it means you get the head, the hips a little bit more involved. Taking one more full round of breath here to move through your cat-cow. Then the next time that you inhale towards a cow pose, let yourself lean forward into your hands. As you exhale, start to round your spine as you swing your hips over to the left and back towards your heels. Then inhale, hips over to the right and then forward, maybe even dropping the pelvis. Exhale, hips over to the left as you round back. Making some nice big circles here, inhaling to the right and forward. Exhaling to the left and back. Maybe even stepping the hands out a little bit wider so that you have more room to make these circles. Letting this be as big or as small as you need it to be today. And when you're ready with your next inhale, switch directions with those circles. Again, moving through the hips here, letting this feel really free. So there's no exact alignment that you need to follow, no yoga rules here. Just letting yourself flow in a way that feels good. Beautiful. At the bottom of your next exhale, start to send your hips back towards your heels. Then inhale, bring your weight forward to your palms, drop your hips, lift your heart. Maybe curl your heels in towards your glutes, find a little mermaid type shape here. Let's take another breath in. As you breathe out, drop the toes as you send your hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. Taking a little movement here if that feels nice. Maybe bending one knee as you straighten the other. Finding this pedaling through the legs here, straightening through that one leg. Just stretch all the way through the hip, the hamstring, the calf. And then switching sides, dropping the other heel to find that same stretch on the other side. Beautiful. Let's all bring a bend into that left knee. With your next inhale, sweep your right leg up and back behind you. Find three-legged dog. As you exhale, draw that right foot all the way up towards the top of your mat, landing down into a low lunge. As your back knee lowers down, let's take a moment to kind of wiggle through the hips. So again, finding that same kind of organic movement here to feel into the hips today, see where they want to land in this lunge. And then when you're ready to find stillness, rooting down through that right foot, dropping the hips. Left hand will find the floor or a block. Right hand will find your right thigh. Let's take an inhale, turn your chest open towards that right knee. As you exhale, hug your shoulder blades together behind your heart. Find a twist. Again, inhaling for that space across the chest, spreading the collarbones. Exhaling to gently hug your belly button in. One more inhale here. Maybe that right arm reaches for the sky for this one. As you exhale, bring that right hand down. Start to shift your hips back, straightening through that right leg. As you find a stretch through the back of that right leg here, maybe you start to fold forward. Maybe you keep the chest lifted. Checking in and seeing whatever is going to feel best for you. Taking this time just to keep waking up, warming up the body. Taking another inhale here. Please stay for the exhale. Now as you inhale, start to re-bend your front knee. Lift your back knee up off the mat. As you exhale, keep that right knee bent. Just start to turn yourself towards that left long edge of your mat. Coming onto the heel of the left foot, maybe lifting the heel of the right as you drop down into your side lunge. So you choose how low you want to go here today. You might keep it fairly lifted, hanging out here with the arm on the thigh. You might drop down a little bit lower. Wherever you are, take an inhale, start to bring your hips through center. As you exhale, left knee bends as you stretch through the right hip. Beautiful, inhale up through center. Exhale, bend the right knee, straighten the left. Back and forth at your pace, inhaling through center. Exhaling to bend the left knee. Inhaling through center. And exhaling to bend the right knee. One more time each side. Maybe bringing in again some of that nice free organic movement as you go side to side. The next time you bend into that right knee, take an inhale to turn back towards the top of your mat. Find your lunge. As you exhale, plant your palms, sweep your right leg back, three-legged dog. Take an inhale here, bend the knee, open the hip. And as you exhale, land that right foot next to your left, downward facing dog. Maybe taking a little bit of movement if that feels nice. And then when you're ready, inhaling to sweep your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your left foot up to the top of your mat. Lightly land your back knee down. As you set up for low lunge, take a moment to wiggle, to move. Finding a little bit more freedom through the hips. And then notice where you want to land on this side of your lunge. Might be a little bit different than the other side. Settling with that left foot rooted into the mat, right shin pushing down. And then the left hand will find your left thigh as your right hand grounds onto the mat. Take your next inhale to push through your hands and turn your chest to the left. As you exhale, push down through your feet, setting yourself up for this twist. Inhale, really opening the heart. Exhaling to drop the hips. Beautiful. One more inhale here. Maybe that left arm sweeps to the sky. Exhale, left hand comes down as your hips move back. Start to make your way towards that hamstring stretch. Lengthening left hip back, anchoring down through the left heel. And then choosing how low you want to bring the chest to really feel that stretch through the left leg. Awesome. Let's stay for another inhale here. And exhale. As you inhale, rebend that front knee. Start to lift your right knee off the floor. Exhale, turn towards that right long edge of your mat. Drop the hips as you lift those right toes. So again, we're setting up for that Skandasana, that side lunge shape. Left knee bent, right leg straight. Then when you're ready, let's bring in some movement. Inhaling through center. Exhaling towards the back of the mat, bending the right knee. You know what to do. Inhaling through center. Exhale, bend the left knee. 2 more full rounds on your own. So 2 more times to each edge of the mat. And again, letting this be free, organic. If you want to bring in some added movement, maybe bringing in a twist as you hit that side lunge. Maybe trying to keep the hips low, moving side to side. Just seeing how your body wants to move today. And then as you come back to the front of the mat, left knee bent. Start to turn back towards that top edge, finding your lunge. Planting your palms, sweep that left leg up and back, find 3-legged dog. Take an inhale here to bend your knee, open your hip. As you exhale, drop the left foot down and come into downward facing dog. Beautiful, some movement here if you want it, or pausing in stillness for 3 rounds of breath. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose or mouth, whatever feels best for you. Now, as you're ready, gently lower your knees down onto the mat. Sit your hips to one side so that you come to seated on your yoga mat. And then please turn yourself to face the long edge of your mat here. Now, for this next part of our practice, this long edge of the mat is going to act as our front edge of the mat. So when you're ready, uncross your legs and plant the soles of your feet a little bit wider than hips width distance. Hands come back behind you just to give a little extra support. Take an inhale here to sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, both knees drop over towards the right side of your mat. Then inhale to bring your legs back through center. Exhale, both knees over to the left. Finding this windshield wiper motion, inhale through center. Exhale over to the right. And then inhale through center. And exhale to the left. Let's keep this going on your own now, moving with your breath. Making this movement as big, as dramatic, or as small and as subtle as you'd like. So maybe letting the upper body move a little bit with the knees, or maybe making this really small, just taking the knees side to side. Awesome. Let's take one more full round here wherever you are. So one more time to each side with those knees. Inhaling as your knees come back through center. Exhaling your knees over to the right. We're going to add on here. Right hand plants behind your right hip, anchored down through both shins. Take an inhale to lift your hips, sweep that left arm to the sky. As you exhale, slowly lower everything back down. Then inhale, coming back through center. And exhale, knees over to the left. This time anchoring that left hand behind your hips. Take an inhale to lift up, open your heart. As you exhale, lower everything back down. Continuing with that new flow, inhaling knees through center. Exhaling knees over to the right. Planting that right palm, take an inhale to open up. And exhale to lower back down. Inhale, passing through center. And then exhale, knees over to the left. Inhaling to lift your hips, find your back bend. Exhaling to lower down. Please take one more full round on your own here. So one more time to each side. Really moving with the pace of your breath. And again, making this as big or as small as feels good for you today. Beautiful. When you're ready to add on once again, let's inhale the knees through center. As you exhale, knees drop over to the right, anchor down through your shins. Inhale to lift your hips, lift your heart. Exhale to lower everything down. Nice tall spine here. As you inhale, turn your chest towards that right knee. As you exhale, unwind your twist. Start to bring your legs back through center. Now inhale as you pass through center. And exhale, knees over to the left. With your inhale, lifting your hips, lifting your heart. With your exhale, landing your hips to the mat. Inhale, little twist towards that left knee, the back of your mat. As you exhale, unwind your twist, start to come back through center. Finding our new flow here, inhaling through center. Exhaling, knees over to the right. Inhaling for that back bend. And exhaling to lower. Inhaling for your twist towards that right knee. Exhaling to unwind, start to bring your knees through center. Awesome, inhale through center. Exhale, knees to the left. Inhale, rise your hips and heart. And exhale, lower down. Inhale for that gentle twist towards the left thigh. Exhale, begin to unwind, come towards center. We're gonna add on one more time. So inhaling through center. Exhaling, knees over to the right. Plant that right hand as you inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. Inhale for your gentle twist towards the right knee. Exhale, begin to unwind. This time, chest stays facing that right shin. Shift some weight all the way over into your right hip. As you inhale, lift that left leg to hover. As you exhale, bring that left leg around in front of you. Catch your left foot with your right hand. Left hand comes behind you for support as you start to circle and move through that left hip. So you can almost imagine that your leg is like a spoon and you're just stirring this big bowl of soup. And you can also feel this massaging around the left glute, left hip. Might even feel nice to hug that left shin in and give it a little cradle here for a moment. Beautiful. Then as you're ready, both hands are gonna hold on to either your calf or the sole of your foot. Take an inhale to sit up tall. As you exhale, begin to lengthen through that left leg any amount. So once you start to feel that stretch through the back of the leg, especially up into the hamstring, that's the place where you're gonna stay. Whether or not the knee is straight doesn't really matter. Think about driving your left hip down into the mat as you lengthen out through your heel. And as best you can, keep your chest nice and proud. Let's take another inhale right here. Now as you exhale, hands come away from your leg as you sweep that left leg back behind you. As you do, let that turn you towards that long edge of your yoga mat. Kind of funky, I know. So let's find ourselves in this half straddle shape. Left leg is out, right heel is gonna hug in. Left hand to left leg. As you inhale, reach your right arm to the sky. As you exhale, reach up and over into a side stretch. Right hand reaching towards that left foot. Giving us a moment of pause here before we play with that sequence on the other side. Letting your legs get heavy as you stretch through that right side waist. Let's take another inhale right here. Please stay for your exhale. Inhale lifts you back up through center nice and tall. As you exhale, drop your arms by your sides. Bring your legs out in front of you and give them a little shake, little wiggle. Beautiful. As you're ready, knees bend, planting the soles of the feet a little wider than the hips so we can take that to the other side. So inhaling here in center. As you exhale, drop your knees over towards that right side of your mat. Then inhale back through center and knees over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale through center and over to the left. Now inhale as your knees come through center. Exhale, knees over to the right. Let's plant that right palm. Inhale, lift the hips, find your back bend. Exhale, settle your tailbone down. Inhale, find your little twist towards the right knee. Exhale, start to unwind, come back to center. Here we go, inhaling in center. Exhaling, knees over to the left. Let's find that full flow here. Inhaling to rise your hips, lift up. And exhale to lower everything down. Inhale for a little twist towards that left knee. Exhale, unwind your twist, but stay facing that left shin. Bringing some weight over into the left hip. Let's try and hover the right leg. Sweeping that right leg around in front of you. That left hand will catch the right foot. Right hand comes back behind you. Starting to move through that right leg, right hip in any way that feels good. Stirring that pot, massaging the booty a little bit here. Again, might feel nice to bring the shin in, kind of cradle the leg, take a little rock side to side. Checking in with whatever feels best for this right leg, right hip on this side. Now the great thing about bringing a little bit more play into your yoga practice is that there's no right or wrong here. So we're really following the sensation and letting go of any ideas of what your yoga should be. So as you're ready, let's bring that right knee in towards the chest. Hands either grabbing for the calf or the sole of the foot. Taking an inhale to sit up as tall as you can. As you exhale, begin to lengthen out through the right heel, straightening your leg any amount. Now remember, again, we're following the sensation here. So as soon as you start to feel that stretch through the back of the right leg, whether or not that right knee is straight, that's your place to stay and breathe for today. Letting your hips stay heavy as your heart lifts up towards the sky. Noticing how this shape feels on this side of the body might be a little bit different than over on the left. And let's take another inhale right here. And here we go. With the exhale, release your hands away from the leg. Start to sweep that right leg around behind you, letting it turn you towards that long edge of your mat until you arrive in that half straddle shape. Readjust as needed so you can sit up nice and tall on your sits bones. Draw that left heel in. Then right hand to right leg. Take an inhale, sweep your left arm up. Exhale, reach up and over into a side body stretch. Few moments of quiet here as we open into the left side waist, welcoming in this moment of stillness here. And with your next natural inhale, start to rise back up through center. Exhale to release your arms, stretch out your legs, and give them a little shake if that feels good. Turning yourself back towards that short edge of your mat, the original top of your mat, so that we can bend the knees, plant the feet, and at your own pace, start to lower yourself all the way down onto your back. As you arrive on your back, take a moment to replant the feet, knees pointing straight up towards the sky, and bring your arms down by your sides wherever they feel natural. Drawing your shoulder blades down into the floor, pushing down into the soles of your feet. Please take your next inhale to rise your hips any amount off the floor and come into a little bridge pose. Keep anchoring down through your feet as you lift up through your hips. Take another inhale here. As you exhale, slowly lower down. Take your time as your hips come back to the mat. Moving with your breath here, inhaling to rise your hips. And exhaling to lower everything down. Again, inhaling to rise. And exhaling to lower. Taking a few more rounds of this flowing bridge pose on your own, moving with your breath. The next time that you inhale and lift your hips, please pause here. Draw your shoulder blades underneath you, maybe even grabbing the edges of your yoga mat and pulling them apart to help you walk those shoulder blades under. And then start to shift some weight over into your left foot, really anchoring down. With an inhale, lift that right knee in towards your chest. As you exhale, begin to lengthen that right leg to the sky, holding in our single leg bridge. So this option to lift the leg is just that, it's an option. So choose your own adventure here. If you'd like to keep the knee bent or keep the foot planted, please feel free to go there. Beautiful, let's take one more inhale here, lifting the hips. Now as you exhale, that right knee is gonna come in towards the chest and then lower your hips to the floor, keeping that right knee in. Beautiful, extend that left leg long down your mat as you take an inhale here. Exhale for a twist, bringing that right leg to the left side of your mat. So lots of options here to make this twist feel best for your body. You might stay here with just that right knee twisting over. You might like a little added support, bringing the left leg underneath the right. Or you can take a completely different variation of the legs that feels best for your body, going to that place where you know you want to go here today. And we'll stay for about 5 rounds of breath here. Maybe playing with a few different variations of this twist, experimenting with some different leg variations, so that you can find what feels best for you and settle in to really feel the benefits of this pose. And all together we have one more inhale here. Exhale completely. As you inhale, slowly bring yourself back through center, back onto your back. Let's bring that right foot back to the floor. Bending your left knee, bring the left foot back to the floor. And let's get ready for that bridge pose, trying out that single leg version on the other side. So planting down through the feet, take an inhale to rise your hips. As you exhale, walk the shoulder blades underneath you, maybe pulling on the yoga mat to help you out here. When you're ready, weight is going to shift over towards that right foot, gently hugging the navel, the right hip in towards center. Then inhale to lift that left knee in towards your chest. Exhale, start to straighten that left leg towards the sky. So finding your variation of this bridge today, again, you can always keep the knee in, keep the foot down, whatever you'd like to explore here today, that's up to you. Wherever you choose to be, see that you can keep breathing there. We've got about 2 more full rounds of breath. Nice. Let's take another inhale here with the hips lifted. As you exhale, left knee to chest, hips lower to the mat. Starting to straighten that right leg long. Take an inhale here. Exhale to find your twist, left knee coming up and over to the right. Anchoring that left shoulder down into the mat, feeling that support of the earth underneath you. As you take this twist wherever you'd like to go with it today. Again, perhaps exploring a few different variations with the legs, seeing what's going to feel best on this side. And eventually allowing yourself to find some stillness in one of those versions of the pose. We have about 3 more full rounds of breath here in this twist. Let's take one more inhale here. And exhale completely. Inhaling to come back to center, back onto your back. Stretching that left leg long to meet your right. Reaching your arms back behind you for a full body stretch here. Reaching out long through the fingers and toes. Stretching as long as you can on your yoga mat. Let's take a big breath in here. As you breathe out, release your arms down by your side. Maybe walk your feet a little bit wider apart here, settling into your Shavasana, your final resting pose for today. And we'll be here for a few minutes together, allowing for this time of stillness so that you can really soak in everything that we did throughout this practice today. Allowing your body to rest into the support of the earth. Letting your breath come back to its natural rhythm, natural pace. And noticing how you feel after that kind of funky and playful flow here today. Notice how it feels to try and let go of those expectations and ideals for yourself. And instead allow yourself to simply be and to enjoy yourself. And I offer you this next minute or so in silence and stillness so that you may soak in whatever it is that this yoga practice has to offer you today. Gently begin to bring your awareness back onto your yoga mat, back into your physical space. Once again, feeling your body where you're resting and welcoming in a little bit of movement back into the body. Wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and your ankles, moving and stretching in any way that feels good as you reawaken. And eventually using that movement to roll you onto either side of your body. Taking your time as you transition here, moving nice and slowly. When you feel ready, coming all the way up to a comfortable seated position here on your mat. Taking your time to root down through your sits bones, lengthen up through the crown of your head. And I invite you here to bring your hands together in front of your heart, finding Anjali Mudra. Sealing this practice today with one final moment of gratitude. Thanking yourself for making your way onto your mat today and for taking this time just to play. And I thank you so much for meeting me on the mat. Namaste. Be well.